Hey guys, did you know that Mr. Stevie, basically the marketing manager for Star Wars, Marvel, and G.I. Joe, had a YouTube channel? Me either. Let's take a look. Okay, as I said in the intro, Mr. Stevie has a YouTube channel. I was totally unaware of this. And apparently, from what I can see, a lot of people were unaware of it. I mean, 2,088K subscribers. That's not, it's bigger than May. That's what she said. But I was really shocked to find this. I really stumbled across it accidentally. Somebody was talking about something he said. And then I went and looked it up, and I'm like, whoa, this is Mr. Stevie. This is the guy that did the report cards that I was talking about a couple of weeks ago. Might have even been last week. I can't even remember. But you get what I'm saying. And yeah, I was really taken back. And I don't know the history of this channel. I looked at the oldest, and it looks like just regular old toy tubing. Maybe this was a side gig just for fun, before they kind of put Mr. Stevie up front and center. Because he was kind of in the background before. I had not heard of him. So, I mean, yeah, I guess I'm really guessing here. But anyway. Some of his latest content is really relating to toys and manufacturing and etc. So I thought it would be interesting to look at some videos. There are a couple of things I want to touch on I've only seen 2 of the videos, and there's a couple of things I want to touch on. One is the easy one, but let him speak and then I'll come back.
Can you explain, Mustafa Mando, can you explain what makes certain figures more expensive to produce than others? This I can talk about. It's broad enough for me to kind of talk about. It basically falls into one loosest area. Mustafa Mando, I don't know what your real name is. I'll call you Bob. Bob, what it falls into is really kind of labor. Putting an action figure together takes labor. Labor being people or even sort of mechanical operations. It's something that needs doing, as it were. And the things that make action figures generally more expensive is the more actions or doing things you need to do to put that action figure together and to create that action figure.
Okay, I realize nothing new or profound there, but pay attention to this next part.
So, for example, let's grab an action figure. All right, we'll grab I Love You 3000 here. We'll grab Iron Man here. So if you look at Iron Man, he's probably got about 28 pieces of articulation. So there's 28 things that need putting together, or 28 actions to kind of put together. So the knee, I've got to put the knee in, and then I've got to put the shin together, and then I've got to put the foot in. And it's whether it's all people or it's a mechanical action, it's still a thing to do. So the more things to do on an action figure is really kind of what makes it more expensive. So you can see that if I've got a 5-point articulated figure, I may have a front and a back torso that I put a head, left arm, right leg, left leg, and I put it together. So the action of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, stick 6 is 6 things to assembly. So that's assemble. That's 6 labor actions to assemble it. This one might be 20 odd. Remember? Boom, boom. Got to put all that together. And each action of labor costs whatever it costs. A cent. We'll say a cent. So that adds up. So the more articulation equals the more things to do to put the figure together equals more cost or more expensive. Equally, deco. Now, deco, there's different ways you can do it. You can mold in a color, which means there is no deco application. And a deco application is when you put a bit of paint onto a figure, either with a brush, either with a tampo, which is like almost like a rubber. It's like a rubber nipple, if I can say it the best way, that kind of has a bit of ink on it that goes, takes the ink and tampo printing, or even spray mask. Now, what a spray mask is it's like a metal clamp that clamps over a figure and leaves a hole in the metal to the certain shape that you're looking for, and you spray it. It's a very clean way of getting a very particular mark. So the deco makes things more expensive, and the number of times you have to do things for deco. So, for example, I'm not going to count deco on this, but it's like you can see it's probably molded in mostly red. The knees are molded in pink, But like that white heart, that'll be a clamp. Psst, that's one thing. That costs one thing. On the face, you probably got the eyes, maybe one thing, maybe two, the mouth. There may be some things where people are painting, going, every time it's touched or an action is done to apply paint is a doing thing, which equals a cost. So things that have a lot of articulation cost more. Things that have a lot of deco cost more. So it's like Boba Fett, for example, is a very expensive figure because every one of those little pieces of camo and the little panels and things has to be a thing that has to be done, equals labor. Someone has to do it, or a mechanical action has to happen, which is still a part of the process. So that makes things more expensive. Things like tooling makes things more expensive. So if you've got complex, I don't have a figure like that now. So if, say, for example, Iron Man had a load of straps and other bits and pieces or things coming out that were very complex and intricate, that makes the tooling more intricate as well. Now, the tooling is the steel, is huge bits of steel that we carve into to kind of shoot plastic into to create a hand or a knee element. And all the pieces that go in are all molded, injection molded into steel. And each of those tools has to be made. And tooling is very expensive. So if you've got a very intricate one with lots of different greebly bits, those tools can get pretty complicated and pretty expensive. And that's really the setup cost. So you've got to remember there is a cost to set up to be able to make the figure, which is all the tooling. And then once you've got it all set up, which is a big investment, you then what's called the unit cost, which is how much does it cost to make each one of these in terms of injecting the plastic, putting them together with labor, putting on the deco, and then shipping it. So whilst tooling isn't necessarily counted against the cost of each unit, it's still accounted for to invest to make something. So something can be expensive to make. So like, again, a 5-point articulated figure amount of tooling is by no way the same as the barge. Very different. So that creates expense, and that has to be accounted for as well. So that is the whistle-stop tour of like what makes things more expensive. It really is mostly the labor, like the plastic to a certain extent, but like sort of the weight of plastic, like a 6-inch and a 3 3/4 inch figure, there's more plastic, so it's a little bit different, but it's mostly nowadays the labor, because as you've heard me say, like labor and freight, labor in particular has gone up in the world. Like, the long gone are the days where you could get really, really cheap labor to make these things. Rightly so, people are asking for more cost and payment to make things. That's just the way of the world. So there you go. That's the answer to that one. Does that make sense? I have no idea.
Okay, so here's the thing. Mr. Stevie pulled out the I Love You 3000 Iron Man, which is $35. Current prices are $27.99. Excuse me, I'm just preparing for the next one. And says all kinds of reasons for it being more. Now let's eliminate something out of the way. Look at this figure and tell me, are any of these parts reused? Probably all of them, except for the heart-shaped arc reactor. And I hope you guys put a little pin on all those, pay special attention. Because now I want to look at, from the Executioner wave, Iron Man Mark 72. Because, well, first thing, Iron Man Mark 72 comes with more, especially if you consider the Build-A-Figure piece. With it also, most of it is pretty much reused. In fact, I think the lower torso is reused because neither one have any kind of waist articulation. But we're looking at tampos and paint. There's a lot more paint on this Iron Man 72 than there is on the I Love You 3000 Iron Man. Yet, there's a big price difference. $27.99 to $34.99. Now, before anyone goes off and says, oh, it's the packaging. Packaging was never mentioned in this. And this was specifically given as an example of why these cost more. And remember a little bit about spray on the little white there on the heart? Take a look at the arc reactor / unibeam of Mark 72. That's a lot more complex of a spray. And it's still at the lower price. Now I'm going to say, I don't think Mr. Stevie was trying to be disingenuous here. I think he just grabbed a figure that was near him as an example to show what he was talking about. And I mean, if you look, there's not a lot of paint on this at all. I mean, it's mostly molded in the color it needs to be. He pointed out that the knees are molded in pink, as are the elbows. There you go, no paint. The little paint I see is torso, and it doesn't look to be that much. I'm not trying to knock Stevie, but I do think he follows in that corporate line. You know, the one where you say the best things about the company and 9 times out of 10 they turn out to be not exactly truthful, but you kind of want to make the company look good anyway. Especially when you compare it to this at Mark 72. Now, none of this is all new information. We've heard this all before from various toy makers, and they might spin it a little different, but we pretty well know this process at this point. But yeah, I really wanted to talk about that because as soon as I saw the video, it really stuck out to me and really just kind of, yeah, it just, I felt needed to be said. Now, there was another one, and immediately I'm like, okay, we need to talk about this too. Let's get on with the video.
What's this question here? What would it take to get TVC to all the stuff and quality? You don't think the same quality? Well, I disagree with you. I think the quality is pretty much the same. And characters from a show. More sales. A larger audience, a larger consumer base. Black Series, well, you can count the items, number of items. There's a certain number of Black Series and a certain number for TVC. That is based on the number of sales for each of them. So when I talk about balancing the scales, a lot of people think that that's doing the same. It's not. It's proportional representation. It's like if Black Series sells this to this many people and TV Series sells this many people, if we do a new like Mando movie, if we do 10 figures for Mando there on Black Series, then balancing the scales and proportional representation should be like 5 for TVC, because they're kind of like, well, you can count the numbers. It's sort of like half the amount of people. So that's what it is. I mean, your TVC is a incredibly passionate and incredibly dedicated fan base. It's just that we sell less of them. So that's just the way it is on that. But as you've noticed, and I hope you notice, I spend a lot of effort and a lot of time singing the songs and the praises and advocating for TVC, because it is a very unique scale and not many people do that scale. I've seen some other companies doing that scale more, but like, I think Star Wars is the heart of 3.75 super articulated. So spread the word, advocate for the scale, advocate for the brand, and bring new people in. Let's build out the ranks, and that is how you get more stuff. That's economics.
There is a lot to unpack there. Let's start off with character selection. A lot of the waves, more than a few, have been repacks of Mandalorians in the past year. Not really a broad character selection here. Let's ignore the fact that the prices have shot up to where I consider myself priced out. Okay. Let us look at some facts. What's at Ollie's? The majority of what's at Ollie's that's not selling, it's Black Series and retro. A whole lot more retro lately. But that whole idea was stupid and it was never going to sell. But yes, a whole damn lot of Black Series. Do you see vintage there often? We saw the deluxe sets. They filtered in because they were fucking overpriced. A Black Chrysanthemum set, that was not worth it. The Fire Trooper set was not worth it. The Ahsoka set was not worth it. Till they brought the price down. Then they bring the price down. Boom. Those are not at Ollie's anymore, but they were. Huh. It's almost like we're trying to tell them the price is the problem. But yeah, almost all of the deluxe TVC figures go to Ollie's. As do most of the Black Series deluxe figures. Need to point that out. But the regular TVCs, You rarely see them. I saw one Hoth Trooper and somebody else at Ollie's once, and that's it. I've never seen TBC at Ollie's. That's my other point. Also, what HasLabs go through? Black Series can't get a HasLab to go through. TBC has not had a HasLab fail. Even though I thought that Republic gunship was going to. I really did. I thought there's no way in hell people are going to fall for this. They did it. Okay. So that makes me beg the question. I first and foremost have seen them actively try to kill this line. Way back in 2017, 18, they would put everything to 5 points of articulation, and it rotted on the shelves. They pretty much canceled TBC to the point that people were mad and got it back. You may not want to hear that, but that is what happened. And then we had the little faux pas in, I want to say 2016, where someone was being interviewed and accidentally let it slip that the profitability from Black Series is better than TBC. And that's why they push it so hard. In examining with all those facts, and again, I really feel like Hasbro has been actively trying to kill this line. But it's not working, because the fans of this line will keep it going. You're going to have people who pick up one of each wave, but damn it, that one always sells out, and that's proof that, damn it, there's some life in this line. But I think what Stevie's doing here, and I could be wrong, I think he's just trying to get people to get back into TBC. Okay, well, it's not that easy. You've got to give them something they want at a price they think is agreeable. Right now, if you give us something we want, the price isn't agreeable. So that's going to be the problem. Now, the other secret is that the vintage collection has been sneaking up in price a lot more than Black Series. It's jumped several times when Black Series stayed the same. So yeah, they've seen more price hikes, and right now it's gotten in an unreasonable area. Black Series will do it at $30. Right now for me, I think it's unreasonable. I only buy them at Ollie's. Or at those prices. Now, I could be wrong here. It could be that Stevie's just like, yeah, I'm going to help kill this line and tell you there's no hope because we don't have enough fans. Which is bullshit. Put out the things people want. For example, Bad Batch. They've had 3 seasons, 2 sets in Black Series, 1 character in Vintage Collection. Tell me that's fair. Plenty of Mandos, though. I mean, even the most diehard Mandalorian lover would have to admit they've oversaturated the Mandalorian demand. But anyway. Alright. I think that'll wrap it up, but yeah, Mr. Stevie has a YouTube channel, and I'm going to start keeping my eye on it. I was going to EFAF this, and then I just thought, no, I should just make some commentary. Because this is interesting stuff, but yeah. Go check it out. I don't know, give him a sub, see what happens. I mean, I know he's skirting the line of what he can talk about work, but still, we might garner some information out of him. You never know. Give it a shot. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe.